Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you with a request video from some of my followers on Facebook. And it's going to be a Pokemon election slash politics slash would I take the COVID vaccine slash what would it take to have a third political party introduced to the main political platform thing. Okay, so Pokemon, whoever made this is a goddamn freaking genius. They're like autistic and they made like their brain work differently because this is fucking bananas. The fact that they made so many different facets of they made manga, anime, they made the cards, they made the show, they made the action figures. It was so fucking cool and it was all like crack to everyone. So and then that was kind of a joke because he said, no, just go about the elections politics process. Okay, so people. All right, this whole thing. I just heard someone say, like, yeah, this was actually the most, like, accurate election, like, ever. It was the most watched over. It was, like, results are perfect. Okay, nothing is fucking perfect in politics. People are corrupt. People are dumb. People are stupid. People believe what they hear or what they see. Repeat it enough times, people will believe it. If it's touted by media, you'll take it as fact. Even if it's on a TV show, you'll take it as fact. There are still people that believe that you only use 7% of your brain, like, because of that fucking movie with Morgan Freeman and Scarlett Johansson. Like, no, you use most of your brain most of the time. I have no idea why that 7% of the thing came, like, I have no idea why that happened. People are fucking dumb. And the election process in politics, of course, there's going to be fraud on both sides. You're going to have, like, people are just going to do what they want. People cheat in games. People cheat in Connect 4 and Trouble and cards. Like, you think they're not going to cheat in politics and election processes? Have you met people before? I don't understand why people don't think that. And I'm not saying that, like, oh, it's the Democrats, they're stealing the election, like they're Republicans, they want to recount. Just like, it's both parties. Like, I'm 100% sure both people on both sides are cheating, and I'm not even sure it's like the actual parties. I'm pretty sure it's just the people. People are just saying, like, oh, you know what? My mom used to live in this house, but she lives in another house now. She moved, but I have a ballot for her. I'm going to give my ballot. I'm going to sign in for her mail-in ballot to vote for the candidate that I want, even though she's probably voting for herself, in another state. Do you know how many people that have maiden names that had one name and that have now another name, last name after they got married, they're voting twice or three times? Or how many people that have died have voted because people are like, oh, you know what, I'll just sign for them. That's another vote for the candidate that I like. If you guys don't think that that is happening, you're either very, very naive or there's something wrong with you. And I guarantee you that happens on both sides of the spectrum. That is just something that's just going to happen. That being said, yes, I do think you should have people watching everyone count the votes and doing what they do and submitting and whatever. That being said, I think that, okay, if there's there was video of someone doing something to, like, a Scantron, like, manually, and it was all over Twitter and saying, like, see, this is what the left is doing. The left is taking this ballot, they're doing something to it, they're doctoring it, and they're putting it in so they're switching it so they're their candidate. What they're probably doing is they're just saying, like, okay, this didn't go into the Scantron feeder. I have to do something to it to make it so that it is doing what this person wants, and then I'll put it so that it actually feeds or that it actually counts. Like, people are so, like, again, this is happening on every single area that you could think of. So moving past that, a COVID vaccine, and would I take one in the first round? I've said this before on some of my other videos. I do not. Fuck, I'm drunk. This is water, by the way. The quickest a vaccine has gone from let's make a vaccine to hey, let's deployable is the mumps. It took 4 years for that to happen. So the fact that I get it, Operation Warp Speed, they were given a lot of money, they were given a lot of whatever. The companies that came up with the first COVID drug are going to get a big boost to their stock, to their company, and gain a lot of money. These companies, without a doubt, are going to be cutting corners. If they're going to come up with a vaccine in under a year, you can be damn sure that there's some fuckery going on so that they can make sure they get, so no, I will not take the first round of vaccines that's deployed. Now, for me, luckily, I was born lucky and I have a decent body where I am fine. I actually had the antibodies, I think, without getting the virus. If I did get the virus, yeah, I don't think I had the virus. I had the antibodies without getting the virus just because my body just fought it off. Now, these vaccine is something where I, even if whether I was who I am or I was someone that was sickly, I would want to wait to see what other people did, to see how they reacted to the vaccine. Because, again, most likely, this vaccine that was created was probably created by cutting corners and not doing the best of their ability. So no, I will not. I will not take the first round. I will if those people are fine. Sure, I'll take the second, third round, whatever. And if it's like the flu vaccine, no problem. I'll take it every year. Whatever. That's fine. There's going to be some people, anti-vaxxers, that say like, oh, this is just another way that government has control. Okay, agreed. The government has too much control. I don't want the government to have this control, but if it's going to protect me, and it's shown that even if it's only 30% effective, like a lot of flu vaccines, I'll take it because that means that's 30% effective, and I'll at least have some protection. Now, that doesn't mean that you're automatically protected. It just means that you're protected against 30% of the strains or whatever it is. The other thing is, what would it take to have a third political party introduced to the mainstream? People are lazy. People are just convinced that, like, your candidate's not going to win. They're never going to win, so I'm just going to vote this guy. They're going to pick the lesser of two evils. People are not ready for a third party. People won't, like, it's clear from Bush to Obama to Trump. People are okay with losing freedoms. They don't know that they're losing freedoms, but they are. And that they just do not care. They just think, oh, well, I'm this party, so I'm going to vote this guy. Or, you know what, I believe this guy's smart. I believe what this person's saying, so I'm going to vote this guy. The mainstream media does not give attention to third parties. They do not give a shit about, they don't cover third parties. And most people watch mainstream, they watch CNN or MSNBC, or they watch Fox, or they watch whatever they watch. Very rarely are third parties given the time of day. So unless you actually care about politics and you look into it, even if you do care about politics and you look into it, say like, well, I recognize that there's a third party, but like Mace Windu, I recognize that, but I do not grant you the title. You know, they're going to say like, okay, I recognize, but that's just not where my values are. There's some people, like my friend Paul, I mentioned him a lot, that say like, hey, there's yeah, listen, I'm going to vote down the right. I'm going to vote Republican all the way because I'm pro-life. I'm not big on big government. I'm anti-tax. You know, this is what I like. I don't like Democrats. I don't like liberals. That's what I'm going to vote. My values are on the right. So he knows who Joe Jorgensen is. He knows who Gary Johnson is and Ron Paul. He just doesn't like them. He just happens to like the people. And there's people on the far left that are just saying like, okay, yes, I get it. You know, she's a woman and, you know, Joe Jorgensen's running for the Libertarian candidate, but they're just going to say, like, I know who she is, but this election is too important. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because if I vote for Joe Jorgensen, my vote won't count. And I want to get Trump out of office, and the best way to get Trump out of office is to vote for Joe Biden. And okay, fair enough, but they should have third-party candidates at debates. Libertarians have been on all 50 ballots for the last 20 years, 50 years, whatever they've been. Green Party has not. Green Party's only been on like 30 states ballots. So what I think it would take to get this, honestly, it's not going to be like both two parties are so insufferable that they're going to vote for a third party. It's going to be every state has to go the way of Oregon. They're going to have to legalize every single drug, and everyone is going to have to... people are going to have to be interested in politics, which not everybody is. And they're going to have to research and they're going to do their job. But you're going to have to... It's not going to happen for a long time unless people have a little bit of interest in politics and they take acid or shrooms. It's like, wait, no, there's a better way. Or they say, like, okay, listen, they trust someone that's super smart and say, listen, like, I voted for Ron Paul because I thought he represented my ideas and values the most. I was not going to vote for Gary Johnson in 2016. I was going to write in Ron Paul again. But my friend Christy says, like, okay, listen, I get, like, I don't like Trump and I don't like Hillary. Again, this is 2016. She's like, but a candidate has to earn my vote. And Gary Johnson earned her vote. And I was like, okay, cool. It's not going to happen unless people have, libertarians get their shit together and they have a strong candidate. If it's going to be a third party, it's going to be libertarian. They have their shit together, they have a strong candidate, or unless, the left gets their way and they say, okay, machines are doing a lot of our jobs, we don't have to work as much, and a lot of the people are going to use some of their free time to research politics. And then or if people say, like, they take drugs, they take acid, they take shrooms, and they have an interest in politics, and one of the things that they trip on is like, oh, whoa, yeah, these people are great. I don't like any of these two guys. Like, most of the time, it's because you have a lot of the religious left that's just going to vote right, religious right, religious people that are just going to vote right, and just what other people call snowflakes, just the far left that's just going to vote for any socialist candidate that they want, which, Jesus, those people. You're really just going to have people in the middle that's like, I don't like both candidates. And even those people in the middle that don't like both candidates, they're probably going to vote right or left. The only way they vote libertarian is if they just say, is if the candidate doesn't affect them. Even though a Joe Biden presidency affects me negatively, and it would have probably behooved me to vote Trump, I was like, listen, one, I'm in New York, so it doesn't matter who I vote for. They always go Democrat. But even if Biden gets elected, yes, it's bad for me because the taxes are raised on business owners. But it doesn't matter. I don't care. I would rather vote my conscience and vote Jo Jorgensen because I think she would be better for the country. Even though I think Trump would be better than Biden, I think Jo Jorgensen would be better than both of them. I don't really see it changing for the next... Until a libertarian candidate gets 5% of the vote, where they're included in the debates, you're not going to see a lot of traction. So you need to get 5%. In order to do that, you need to have some... Honestly, as sexist as it sounds, they need a man. There's a lot of people that are old school that just will not vote for a woman. That's just the way it is. It's unfortunate. That's just the way it is. You're probably going to need a man, and you're probably going to need to have to run a good candidate. You're going to need memes. You're going to need just principle, and you're going to need a good campaign. You need some younger people to be able to run that campaign. Younger people, and you need memes, and you need a man. Again, I voted for Jo Jorgensen, so I'm not against voting for women. I just, for the sake of that's what you're going to need. So there's video number 2. All right, I love you guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments for good to use the algorithm. I'm so freaking done. I love you guys. Bye.